What's happening, Mousetrap? It's a Teslamouse here. Your coach, who's trying to choose for yet another exciting edition of our VPL Team Builder. We are in week 3, everyone. Take out a Squirtacular of the Slateport Vale. And let's review his roster real quick. He has Mew, Infernate, Salamence, Gligar, Alolan Muck, Rotomo, Mega Audino, Vaporeon, Aurorus, and Haunter. Some mighty fine choices for him to choose from here. He has some pretty threatening mods. His Z-move uses, as you can see, based on the pink, indicating it, is Mew, Salamence, and Aurorus. Now, the one thing about his team that you have to realize is that he has like 4 Stealth Rock stars, 4 possible Rock stars. That being Mew, Infernate, Gligar, and Aurorus. He also has 2 possible Defoggers in Salamence, or actually 3 possible Defoggers in Salamence, Gligar, and Mew. Though, to be fair, the most likely thing for him to bring Defog on is going to be his Gligar or his Mew, because we have 2 excellent Defoggers like that. You don't really need to waste Defog on your Salamence. His team is pretty bulky. His team is pretty threatening. He's got quite a few setup sweepers, such as Salamence, Mew, and Infernate, in Mega Audino to a lesser extent. He's got some really good bulk there in the form of Mew, Gligar, Rotomo, Mega Audino, and Vaporeon. He's got something that hits really hard in the form of Aurorus. And he's got something to pursue Trap Us in the form of Alolan Muck. The one thing I am scared about facing on his team, though, I will have to be honest, is the Mew. It will probably destroy me if I don't play around it really well enough. But I do have a plan for that. I do have a plan to take on the Mew. Now, I did say that Liars would destroy me last week, and I did pretty well against it. So hopefully that will carry over this week, and we can take care of the Mew. Now, let's review my team real quick, or not real quick, but let's go over what I'm bringing to the table this week. This week, if I can find the Showdown Team Builder, is going to be, let's log into Showdown real quick, play online, sure. We have Houston's own the Raichu, equipped with Focus Sash and Lightning Rod as the ability of Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Signal Beam, and Hidden Power Ice. We are rocking Max Special Attack, 4 Special Defense, Max Speed. The reason why we're running Focus Sash is in case you come to a 1v1 situation versus a Dragon Dancing Salamence, and we're at full health. Now Raichu can 2-tap the Salamence with Hidden Power Ice. So let's say we go for a Hidden Power Ice first against the Salamence, knock it down to like 30% or something. It sets up Dragon Dance. Then he'll think that he's a KO our Raichu with Earthquake, but we surprise it with a second Hidden Power Ice because we're down to our Focus Sash and he does not take us out. It's also good to scout out Scarf users such as Infernate and Salamence, because if we do have it led against the Salamence with Infernate, and his Infernate goes for a move that would one-shot a Raichu, or a Salamence goes for Earthquake, and he knocks us down to the Sash, we get a slow Volt Switch off, we can pivot into something that either resists whatever move they did, or is immune to it. Like if Salamence was to go for Earthquake, knock our Raichu down 1 HP, and we Volt Switch out, we can go into Lando T or Skarmory and do stuff with that. Raichu has Thunderbolt for stab, has Volt Switch for stab that pivots us out, has Signal Beam to hit Mew and Rotomo for super effective damage, and Hidden Power Ice to hit Gligar and Salamence for super effective damage. Pretty easy enough. Lightning Rod as the ability instead of stack like the last 2 weeks, because I do want to deter his Rotomo from going for Volt Switches. Now, I know Lando T should be enough to do that, but if we do switch Lando T in at the wrong time, and he goes for like a Choice Specs Leaf Storm, that's going to just destroy our Landorus, and we don't really want that to happen. Rotomo would still destroy Raichu with a Choice Specs Leaf Storm, but Lando T is going to be more of a factor in this match, or should be more of a factor in this match than Raichu. But Raichu can definitely switch into those electrical attacks. If I'm feeling like he's going to go for like a Volt Switch or Thunderbolt on my Skarmory, then I can go for, Lightning Rod Raichu, get a +2, +1 in special attack. Another good thing about having Lightning Rod Raichu on our team is because we can deter him from Volt Switching and psych him out and going for a Leaf Storm while we have Skarmory in front of him. So if we desperately need to get rocks off our side of the field or any hazards they may set, we can just have a Skarmory out there, go for a Defog as he goes for a quad-resisted Leaf Storm, predicting the Lando T or the Raichu switch. Now that could be a risky play, and I would only do that if it's absolutely positively necessary. Speaking of Skarmory though, we are bringing Scratcher the Skarmory with 248 HP, max defense, and 8 special defense with the leftovers. Sturdy is the ability, impish nature, of course, drill peck, defog, roost, and roar. The reason why we are not bringing rocks and we're bringing defog on this skirmish instead is because this will be our hazard remover of the team. I don't really want to bring Blastoise this week as he gets kind of coned by his Rotom-Mow, gets coned by Discharge Aurorus. It's just not a good thing to bring to the table. Defog will be very useful here. I mean, granted, if we do bring rocks this week and we have it set up and we have to defog them away because he has his rocks on the field, it's going to suck a little bit, but it's, you know, I'd rather have no one have hazards on their side of the field than I have hazards on mine. Because that chip damage can be pretty game defining if it stacks up enough. Drill Peck is there obviously for stabbing to not make a taunt bait. Roost is there to heal off the HP, or heal the HP, and Roar is there to phase out monsters set up like Salamanc's Dragon Dancing, or even Vaporeon with Acid Armor. Acid Armor Vaporeon is going to be a real big problem if he does bring it against us. There's nothing worse than a Stolly Vaporeon. We were running leftovers. The Rock Helmet isn't really that necessary this week, although, you know, kind of getting some chip damage off on Salamence or another physical attacker like a little Muck would be pretty good. But the passive recovery for Skarmory seems to be the better option here, especially if we switch Skarmory into something like Rocks. So that's why we're running leftovers over Rocky Helmet this week. Next up we have Jungle Fever, the Mega Venusaur with Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, Hidden Power, Ice, and Synthesis. It's rocking 248 HP, 128 defense, 88 special defense, and 44 speed. We are speed creeping Gligar to make sure that we outspeed it by 1 point. Mega Venusaur will do an awesome job, an outstanding job on walling out the Vaporeon and the Rotom-Mow, as well as possibly the Mega Audino, depending on the moveset. Sludge Bomb and Giga Drain are there obviously with Stab. Hidden Power Ice is there for the Gligar and the Salamence, mainly to hit Salamence on the switch. And Synthesis is there to heal off HP. Now, I want to run some calcs real quick with Mega Venusaur, so let me just do that. Let me import the Showdown set. Mega Venusaur, Jungle Fever. Against Gligar, Hidden Power Ice will be a 2-hit KO on the Gligar. So if he switches it into Hidden Power Ice and just get a second one off. We have 44 speed to make us reach 106 at level 50, so we're going to outspeed the Gligar and hit it with a Hidden Power Ice before he gets a chance to U-turn out or something, or even Baton Pass. Gligar can't do shit to us either, so that's a plus, unless it runs like Swords Dance Acrobatics, and I don't know what damage output the Adamant Acrobatics has at +1. Let's just see. Acrobatics at +2 Adamant. Yeah, it would do like 48.3% damage. So honestly, Gligar is not an offensive threat against our Mega Venusaur at all. So we should be fine there. As far as Salamence goes, Salamence, if it switches in and it's not bulky, will take a maximum of 91.7% damage from our Mega Venusaur's Hidden Power Ice. Now, let's assume that we are max special attack invested, shall we? It'll have a 56.3% chance of one-hit KO. If we are modest, though, it'll be a guaranteed one-hit KO on the switch. But we are running bold because we do want to better take attacks from stuff like Infernape, Alolan Mach, Gligar even. Not that Gligar poses much of a threat to the Mega Venusaur. Yeah, we want to be on the safe side here. We don't really need to one-shot the Salamence on the switch. We can just switch in a Skarmory and go from there. Also, Mega Venusaur can do a somewhat good job of dealing with the Aurorus, although a Choice Specs Blizzard will be a 2-shot on my Mega Venusaur. Now, I did think about speed creeping modest max speed Aurorus, but ultimately, I wanted to go for the bulk. Mega Venusaur also does a good job at walling out the Rotom-Mow. Also a good job on the Alolan Mach, because the Mach can't really do much to us, with the exception of Sap Curses and whatnot. We're not running Earthquake this week, so it's not like we can hit Mach for super effective damage, but assuming it's an Assault Vest and Alolan Mach, and it's not a Curse Mach, we should be fine with Mega Venusaur 1v1ing it. And again, Mega Venusaur does wall out the Vaporeon, unless he gets a freeze of icing, which that would really suck. But we're going to hope that does not happen. The one thing I do have to say though is that Mew does threaten my Venusaur out along with the Salamence. I know I won't want to keep Venusaur in on the Mew unless I'm feeling extremely ballsy. And Sludge Bomb I believe won't do too much. Although if it does switch Mew in on my Venusaur, we get a poison, that's going to be pretty good. So it doesn't have like Rooster or Soft Boiled. So let's see how much damage this Venusaur Sludge Bomb would do to an offensive Mew. I'm killing an offensive Mew because that's what he's been bringing for the last 2 weeks in the VPL. Sludge Bomb does a maximum of 41.1% damage. If he's running defensive bulky Mew, then if he's running a Stallbreaker Mew, then the Sludge Bomb is not going to do much at all. It's going to do like 27.5% damage, but we could get a poison off, who knows. Unfortunately, Unboosted Psychic will not take us out unless he's Choice Specs and gets a critical hit. I don't even think Choice Specs Mew can take us out with a Psychic, but let's just calc that just in case. If he is Choice Specs, then Mew will do a maximum of 97.8% damage. So we basically have to make sure Venusaur does not take any prior damage if we want to live a Choice Specs Mew. Again, I don't really see him bringing Choice Specs Mew. I don't think he'd want to lock himself into one move. So that is what we're bringing for, as far as the Mega Venusaur set. Next up is Void Gaming the Victini, and this is going to be my ace in the hole against his Mew, and I'll tell you why. Let's run some calcs with Victini, shall we? Our Choice Band Victini set, max attack, max speed, jolly nature. Void Gaming the Victini with a V-Create will one-shot offensive Mew. That is the power of Victini. Minimum of 110.2% damage, maximum of 130.2. So he just basically just blasts his Mew with a V-Create and one-shot guaranteed. No need for prior damage unless he's Focus Sash, but I highly doubt he'd bring Focus Sash Mew. Another good thing is, on defensive Mew, let's assume he goes for the Stallbreaker set. If he goes for a Stallbreaker set, V-Create will still have a good chance to one-hit KO his Mew. 62.5% damage, so we got prior damage off on it. It's going to be anything but a guaranteed one-hit KO. It's going to be pretty much a one-hit KO is what I'm trying to say here. Same with, let's assume defensive Mew with Bold Nature. Let's see what defensive Nature Mew will take. It'll be a 2-hit KO regardless. So basically Mew will just, or Victini's V-Create from a Choice Band will two-shot, at the very least, anything that switches in. Let's go with Salamence. Alright, so Salamence will not want to switch into a Choice Band V-Create because it'll take a maximum of 79.4% damage. If we're at -1 with Victini, it still takes about half. It'll take like a maximum of 52.9% damage. So even resisted, and even at -1, Victini's Choice Band V-Create will do a hell of a lot of damage to the Salamence. And that's not taking into account any prior damage it might suffer. Let's see what it does to Infernape. Choice Scarf Infernape. If we are Choice Band and we're unboosted, it'll do a maximum of 98% damage to the Infernape. Let's go with Aurorus. Let's assume NU Choice Specs. Maximum of 150% damage to the Aurorus from a Choice Band Victini's V-Create. Let's assume Mega Audino. Guaranteed two-shot. So basically nothing will want to switch into a Victini's V-Create. And hell, even Vaporeon will take a significant amount of damage from it. Let's assume it's a Bold Nature. A max HP, max defense wall Vaporeon, Bold Nature. It'll do a maximum of 46.8% damage to the Vaporeon. And Bull Strike will do a maximum of 91.1% damage. Now, Vaporeon's honestly the only thing on his team V-Create will not have a shot to 2-tap. So I do fully expect him to bring Vaporeon there to try to wall out the Victini. We also have Trick on Victini to basically trick a Choice Band on the Vaporeon and lock into one move. If it's a Cleric set or it's a Acid Armor set. So that will kind of screw over its utility. It can also be used to screw over Gligar and take away its EV. However, facing off against a choice band Gligar is probably not going to be the most ideal situation. So if I am to trick a choice band on the Gligar, it'll be in an emergency situation. But basically that's the useful trick. U-turn is also there to hit stuff for choice band damage while pivoting out if he wants to play the switch game or something. I know that choice band U-turn doesn't one-shot the Mew, so V-Create would definitely be my option there. So that is going to be that for the Victini set. Next up we have Gungnir the Kyurem with Ice Beam, Flash Cannon, Sub, and Toxic. 68 HP, 252 special attack, 188 speed to basically speed creep Gligar. We got Ice Beam for stab, we got Flash Cannon to deal with the Aurora, Substitute to set a sub on the Vaporeon, and we got Toxic to poison the Vaporeon. Pray that doesn't have Heal Bell. Now you may be thinking, hey, that's clever. Toxic stalling a Vaporeon. It gets its power points, it uses double the power points for Heal Bell. Well, unfortunately, that is not quite the case. As a teammate of mine, and I found out, pressure only works on offensive moves. I kind of figured that's how it was all along, but I was hoping I was wrong on that. But again, Kyurem still has its uses, can make it waste Heal Bells and just has more toxic power points than Heal Bells, so we should be alright there. Vaporeon can't really do much to Kyurem, and likewise, aside from Toxic Stalling, Kyurem can't really do anything to Vaporeon. However, Kyurem does serve more of a purpose on this team than, say, Blastoise, because Blastoise is going to get destroyed by Rotom-Mow, can get hurt badly by the Aurorus. But we do got a Flash Cannon for the Aurorus on our Kyurem, so we should be fine with taking it out. Now, Ice Beam destroys Gligar, destroys Rotom-Mow. Kyurem can't really do much to Infernape. Kyurem can one-shot the Salamence with Ice Beam, assuming it doesn't have a Yache Berry. But I don't think we're going to be outspeeding the Salamence, because if he runs like Jolly Max speed, then we're going to be outsped for sure. It's base 100 speed versus base 95, but we can do. Kyurem does have some pretty solid bulk all around though. Does have base 125 HP, base 90 defense and special defense, base 130 attack and special attack with 95 speed, so has a good distribution of stats all around. We are running leftovers because there's no need for a Life Orb or Expert Belt or choice item. Just get that passive recovery. And again, I was debating between Roost and Flashkin, but ultimately I decided to go Flashkin just to have something else to deal with the Aurorus. I know Victini would be great to kill it for V-Create, but I don't want to solely rely on Victini to deal with the Aurorus. And last but not least, we have Lando T Money, the Landorus with Earthquake, Fly Swords, and some Rock Polish. Flying Z, max attack, 4 defense, 2 max speed. This was a last minute change, and I'll tell you guys what I was changing it from. I was actually going to run this as my rock setter. It was going to be a bulky rock setter with the Rock Helmet Impish nature, Himpower Ice as well. But I wanted more offensive presence on my team. In case Raichu went down, in case Victini got worn down, in case Kyurem couldn't really deal with stuff like Vaporeon. I wanted Lando T Money to be a setup sweeper. Now, I ran the calcs here, and let's go over the calcs real quick. Lando T, let's assume it's Flying MZ. We're going to be running a Jolly nature in this one. Versus Vaporeon. Now, Vaporeon is a very bulky mon, no doubt about it. Although its physical defense is least to be desired. But if it's a bull nature of max HP, max defense, at +2, Earthquake will do a maximum of 89.8, Fly will do a maximum of 81% damage, but Z-Fly will be a guaranteed one-hit KO. So we can set up on something like a Alolan Muck. You can think it's safe to switch in his Vaporeon and go for Z-Fly, and with either his Vaporeon faints or something he switches in will faint. Also, let's do some Calyx versus Rotom-Mow. Let's assume he's running a Choice Specs Rotom-Mow, shall we? If he's running Choice Specs Rotom-Mow, Z-Fly will still one-hit KO at 144% damage maximum to the Rotom-Mow. Granted, the Rotom-Mow will one-shot Orlando T with Leaf Storm, but that's a risk you gotta take. We can use Inframe as setup, assuming it doesn't pack Hidden Power Ice or something, or Will-O-Wisp. But mostly we're going to probably set up on the Alolan Muck or the Salamence. Now unless these Salamence has like Hydro Pump or something, it's not really going to be able to touch my Lando T, especially if it's a physical set. So let's do a calc real quick. Salamence, an unboosted Supersonic Sky Strike will do 134.1% maximum damage to Salamence. It'll be a one-hit KO regardless. At +2, let's say we use our Z move up, right? At +2, Fly will be a one-hit KO. So we're going to basically use Salamence or Alolan Muck to get a Rock Polish and or Swords Dance up. As far as the Alolan Muck goes, I'm not really threatened by it because I did check. I did note that I cannot get Ice Beam or Blizzard, so we can't really have that move randomly on to bait Orlando T in. I mean, granted, he could run Hidden Power Ice on Alolan Muck, although I don't think he would waste his move slot on that. So setting up on Alolan Muck should be fine with Lando T. And Lando T just can't be touched by Alolan Muck. Aurorus, let's see what happens here. Aurorus will be one-shotted by Earthquake. There's a maximum of 145.4% damage to it. And let's go into Gligar. Are you defensive? So Fly does like 27.9. Then at +2, it'll do a maximum of 54%. However, we'll have a 25% chance of one-hit KO the Gligar. Assuming it takes prior damage, it'll be a straight-up one-hit KO. So basically, if we set up Lando T, his team is going to be in a lot of trouble. Like, there's nothing that he has to basically wall out Z-move Lando T, and that's what I noticed about his team. So yeah, that is basically going to be the team against Squirtacular of the Slateport Vale. Well, let's recap real quick, guys. We are bringing Houston's own the Raichu with the Focus Sash, max special attack, 4 special defense, max speed, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Signal Beam, Hidden Power Ice, with the Timid Nature, Scratch of Skarmory with Leftovers, 248 HP, 252 defense, 8 special defense, Drill Peck, Defog, Roost, and Roar. Then we got Jungle Fever, the Mega Venusaur, 248 HP, 128 defense, 88 special defense, 44 speed, with the Bold Nature, Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, Hidden Power Ice, and Synthesis. Void Gaming, the Victini with the Choice Band, which is going to be our ace in the hole against that Mew. Max attack, 4 defense, 252 speed, which is max speed. V-Create, Bull Strike, U-Turn, and Trick. Gungnir, the Chiron, which is going to be our way to softly deal with the Vaporeon. 68 HP, 252 special attack, 188 speed, with Ice Beam, Flash Cannon, Substitute, and Toxic. And then Lando T Money, the Landorus with max attack, 4 defense, max speed, Earthquake, Fly, Swords Dance, and Rock Polish with the Jolly Nature. So that is our team to take on Squirtacular. This battle is this video, the team battle is actually going to be uploaded on Sunday, August 26th, I believe. August 27th. The battle was supposed to happen last week, but due to scheduling conflicts, we ended up doing it a few days ago. That battle will be uploaded a few hours after this one is uploaded. So guys, you should definitely check out that battle when it comes out. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this fantastic team builder for week 3 of the VPL, leave a like, comment, and please consider thunderbolting the subscribe button as I do try to provide you guys with some fantastic Draft League action, as well as regular Wi-Fi Valley action. And remember guys, keep riding Thunder Waves to victory! Okay, thanks, bye.